Now to a story that's about time, something that unites every single one of us. We only have so much of it. The cliche goes, time is precious. And our John Goodwin met someone who treats time like currency, learning to make the most of what he has.
Because we're just surrounded by noise all the time, right? And when you really escape it and end up in a place like that and really get quiet, it's profound.
For John Waller, movement is life.
Yeah.
Each moment with its own details.
I find myself paying a lot more attention now than I used to. One of my favorite things to do when you're standing behind the falls there is you look up and you pick a single water droplet and you just follow it down.
John has spent many a moment turned memory here at Oregon's Silver Falls State Park.
One of my favorite places. I've been coming up here since I was in college. Our cross-country team would come up here and we'd run the 7-mile loop as our practice. It's just so dramatic and beautiful. This is like that iconic postcard shot. Time and water and ice and freezing and thawing just has broken the rock apart here and created this huge inset into this cliff face.
An explorer, a filmmaker, John has an eye for the bigger picture.
This spot right here looks like the eye, like a giant eye.
And perspective on each passing moment.
I'm always looking to buy more time.
What would you do if you only had a year to live? That 8,760 hours is your currency. How are you going to spend it? Time is my most precious resource, and savoring that time has become my new destination.
Hi, John.
Hello.
How's it going?
Doing all right. In October 2020, at the age of 44, I was diagnosed with stage 4 colorectal cancer.
Since then, it's camped out in his liver. With guidance from OHSU oncologist Dr. Emerson Chen, John's treatments range from the traditional to unconventional.
So this is the right side liver?
Yeah, this is the right side, that's the left side. Every mindset is different. There's no right or wrong. John is a very active person and someone who will want to explore all the options, but certainly not at the cost of sacrificing hobbies and people that are important to him.
With over 30 Mount Hood summits and an appetite for adventure, John is above the decline.
What is realistic? I've had to shift my mindset about what I'm physically capable of, and that doesn't define me.
Everything's harder by 40%.
In 2023, he raised $22,837 with an ascent of Aconcagua, matching the elevation of the highest peak in the Western Hemisphere. The money went to Project Athena, a nonprofit helping survivors of medical and traumatic setbacks achieve their adventurous goals. John climbed with a small pump embedded in his abdomen, delivering chemo to his liver. Somewhat of a high-altitude clinical trial.
And so we had to kind of plan out the days that John's going to be away and to make sure that that time is would be where the reservoir would not run dry.
My next mountain may be a lot smaller, but the mindset is similar in that I'm still going to try to do what it takes to climb that mountain, whatever it may be. I've had to untangle a lot of things about myself that I thought were my identity.
A body once unstoppable, now confined, but a soul uncaged.
That was true. And that isn't as much now. And so there's an acceptance that comes with that. That's good stuff there. That's good coffee.
A year after John's diagnosis, a gift out of thin air, two trails intersecting.
That's the light and the dark of all of this.
A saunter on a dating app led him to Liz.
This tree.
Yeah, oh, man. Look at the lighting on this. The outdoors was a real connecting influence for us at the very beginning.
John had listed a bunch of his interests there, and he mentioned owls as one of his favorite things. And so I'm a bird nerd myself, but I was too embarrassed to put it on my dating profile. I was like, okay, tell me about a cool experience that we've had with an owl, thinking he's gonna have some lame thing to say, but
I saw one once.
he had made a video of a great gray owl hunting a vole and sent that to me, which was like, wow, you made this? That's incredible.
I'd been waiting to play that owl card for years. And then Liz came along and I was like, this is the time. I just didn't see it coming. I remember our second date, I was very open, very transparent about my circumstances. And at one point she looked at me and she said, you don't have to protect me. And I was just, okay.
He's just a very authentic person, and that means not just talking about, the good things in life, the cool things, the things that he feels proud of, but his vulnerability and, things that are hard, things that are real.
The life that I imagine without her feels completely empty and dark.
Last March, John proposed beneath the Northern Lights at the Arctic Circle. In July, they were married.
And he asked me, so where do you think we should get married? And I was like, well, I think we should go to Silver Falls. It was the perfect wedding.
Who would want to welcome me and all of my medical baggage into their life?
But I see two great blue herons. It's, for me, really a proclamation to John and to the world that I adore this man. I love him.
Every place that I go, everything that I do, there is that voice in my head that says, this may be the last time that you ever get to see that. So it's like, just savor it.
I'm a fragile human being just like every one of you. A lot can malfunction when you're the most complex thing in the known universe.
In January, John spoke at TEDx Portland's Salon on Mortality. He deflects labels like victim and warrior, seeking something greater.
I really love the word healing when it's applied to what I'm going through as a substitute for a battle. Really nice reflections tonight. Healing can take place regardless of the outcome. I'm not in a battle, I'm not in a fight, I'm here to heal myself. And fresh air, looking up at these trees and hearing a river, hearing the breeze through the leaves, that is healing that can happen just about anywhere at any time. What's next in store for this place? What's the new transformation that we'll see in the next 10,000 years? We won't be around to see it. At the end of the day, in those sort of final moments of life, what really matters is what were the fingerprints that you left behind for the people you love. Not so much how many mountains did you climb.
Have you ever considered lying back with your hands resting behind your head, enjoying the sky and scenery as you drift along, wondering from a place of curiosity where you might end up.
If we're all just droplets tumbling back to Earth,
I don't know how my story plays out. Time will tell.
John is already deeply grounded.
What we do know is that I'm here, right now, talking with you. What a gift this is.
None of us know how much time is left. You don't know if happily ever after is really a thing. Why not make the most of what you have today?
Together we're floating along as the current takes us away. Maybe with our hands stretching behind our back.
The sun feels great.
It does feel good.
Looking with curiosity up at the sky.
John has entered hospice care now, embracing his final chapter with peace. We're back right after this.